Hello and welcome back to Artisan Electrics for a very exciting episode where you may recall the van behind me, electric van disaster. It's been a bit of a nightmare. The range is terrible on it, and although it's a lovely van, it's not very practical for day-to-day use. So today we're going to collect a new electric van. I'm going to go on a little road trip, collect this van from a very special location. So we're going to head over there now and we'll see you on our way. If you haven't subscribed already, think about doing so, because we post excellent videos all about electrical stuff. And if you do enjoy our videos, it really helps if you hit a thumbs up. Let's get into it. Cool, thanks mate, see you later. We're going in the front or? So we're getting a little lift with Elijah, our social media manager, being chauffeured today. That's quite nice, so I can sit with my laptop and do some work, and we'll be there in about an hour. It's an absolutely manic week this week. There's just so much going on. We're doing some kind of experiments. So John is actually on call today. We're doing a bit of an experiment where we have an electrician on call every day, just for a week, just to see if it's worth it to have somebody on call who is available at short notice for emergencies. Because we found in the past that we've always been so busy with normal work that we booked for like 4 weeks ahead or whatever, and we just can't take on any short notice urgent jobs. But now we've got John, we've got a bit more capacity. We're hoping to be able to take on those kind of jobs and help customers out at short notice. So that's happening. One of our admin team's got COVID, so she's off, which is a bit of a nightmare, poor thing. So that's happening as well. And we're going to collect an electric van, among other things. There's a lot of work happening this week. So it's all fun, and I'm literally trying to make use of every minute that I have to just keep on top of the office work in the background so that we can keep churning out all the certificates and invoices and stuff. So we're here at GRIDSERVE, we're inside up on the first floor. We just met the guys from Vauxhall, and really nice guys, had a little chat to them to get to know them a little bit. And they are now running through with Elijah, our social media manager, the van. They're going through all the in-depth stuff with him, because I want to go at it just completely fresh without knowing too much about the van, and I want to just be able to kind of feel how intuitive it is, get to grips with it myself, and see how easy and simple it is to figure out. Obviously they'll give me a few highlights to get going, and the main things like how to use the handbrake, because I have had issues with that before. But hopefully in general it'll be quite intuitive, but I just want to kind of go at it with a blank canvas and see the van with fresh eyes for the first time. So we're going to have a little walk around here, maybe grab a little coffee and just see what's inside the GRIDSERVE HQ. This is hard work. I feel like a human hamster on a wheel. Charging electric vehicles is hard work. So this is it, we're here to collect this new electric van, which is the Vauxhall Vivaro-E. Now loads of you mentioned to me in the comments on the nightmare electric van video that I posted with the VW transporter, you were like, why didn't you get the Viraro-E? So here we are today to experience the Viraro-E and see what it's all about, because in terms of electric vans, apparently this is the creme de la creme of electric vans that are on the market right now in terms of range and all that other stuff. This is where it's at. So I'm really excited to kind of get to grips with this and give it a try. We've got it for a month. Vauxhall very kindly given it to us for a month to try out. So we're just gonna experience it and see if it's genuinely, really a van that I could buy as a fleet van for the guys and put them in it knowing that they could work out of it on a day-to-day basis and not run out of battery and have enough space and all that other stuff. We're gonna do a little walk round. Going to have a look around GRIDSERVE here because it's a very exciting place, and going to show you what the van is all about. So step one, unlock. The wing mirrors pop out. That's a nice touch already. Step two, let's see if we can figure out how to drive it. So they've obviously got some amazing charging points here at GRIDSERVE. They've got some 350 kilowatt charging points, rapid chargers. So we're going to go and have a look at one of those, if I can figure out how to start up this thing. So it's got a start-stop button. The key doesn't actually have a key in it, so I'm guessing if I put this here and then I press my foot on the brake and press start, hey, that's it. Well, that was easy. And so it says got 175 miles. That's a good start. That's better than 75 miles. Let's have a whiz around the block, shall we? Check it out. I don't know why, but it feels quieter than the Transporter. You know, it feels like I'm in an episode of Futurama. You know, this is the kind of thing that you would see in some kind of futuristic TV show. Now, does the handbrake automatically turn on by itself? That is the question. I think parking brake applied. There we go, perfect. Let's go. So a couple of little highlights for this van that we need to talk about. 205 miles of WLPTE range, which we'll see what the real world version of that is. I'll certainly put that to its paces. 7 kilowatt AC charging, 100 kilowatt DC charging, which is good. And 1,000 kilos or 1 ton of load bearing space. It's pretty spacious inside. 75 kilowatt hour battery. Let's have a look inside. So the first little quirk we've discovered is that you have to press the stop button to actually turn it off. It doesn't just stop automatically by itself. And if you don't, you can get out and it's still running, so to speak, and it won't let you undo the doors because it locks them automatically. Anyway, just a little quirk. It's just, there's always some weird thing you've got to get used to with electric vehicles, but once you get used to it, it's fine. But this is cool. I mean, who doesn't need that in their life? That is awesome. So, let's press the other one. That is so satisfying. So we've got a big open space here. 2 side doors. Now this is the top spec version that they've sent us. I think they said it's like 38 grand or something if you want to buy this. It's the top of the range one. So obviously I'm sure the basic one doesn't have 2 side doors. You've probably only got 1. The electric opening is also an extra, but it's a nice size van. So this is the sort of long wheelbase in inverted commas, which means you've got a bit more space in it. The actual wheelbase itself of this van though is the same, but they just jut it slightly further out at the back so that you've got an extra foot or so of length. For us, I think, to be honest, the short wheelbase one would probably be fine. The good thing is about this van is you can get the short wheelbase version with the 75 kilowatt hour battery still, so you don't reduce the amount of range when you reduce the size of the van, which I really like. Let's talk about charging cables. So there's these 2 little Vauxhall bags here for us. What do they have inside? So this one is what looks like a trickle charger. Yep. It's got a 13 amp plug on it, so it's the kind of thing that you could use to just top up when you're at a customer's house if you need to, although with the kind of range that this van has, it's not that likely that you'll need to. And then this one is your normal type 2 to type 2, which you'll use to charge it up at home in an untethered charging point, or out on the road at a public charging point, but this is just for your standard AC 7 kilowatt charging. The DC chargers, which we'll show you here now, they always come with a tethered lead. So this is the fastest rapid charger I have ever seen. I'm pretty sure it might be the fastest that the UK currently has to offer, and this is a DC rapid charging plug. This is what we call a CCS plug. I have no idea what CCS stands for. Let us know in the comments, but basically you've got the pins here that do the communication, and then you've got these two fat old pins which do the DC charging. What this means is this is providing DC power which feeds directly into the battery of the vehicle, whereas when you're charging at home you're charging on AC, and the vehicle has what's called an onboard charger which converts the AC into DC to charge the battery. This one just goes directly into the battery, which is why you can get such a fast charge. And 350 kilowatts means that a 75 kilowatt hour battery like this van has will charge up in 75, 150, 300, so like 15 minutes. About 12 minutes probably. It would charge up in 12 minutes if you could charge that van at 350 kilowatts. Now actually not many vehicles can charge that fast at the moment, but these charging points are kind of future-proofed for when the vehicle technology is there. Currently that van can charge at 100 kilowatts DC, which is still pretty fast. What that means is that it will give you a 0 to 100% charge of that 75 kilowatt battery in about 40 minutes, which is absolutely fine. One of the amazing things about this GRIDSERVE place is that the roofs of these charging port stations are covered in solar panels. That means that on a beautiful sunny day like today, those solar panels are generating green solar energy, which is being used to directly charge the vehicles that are plugged in. But also any excess solar is stored over there in a massive bank of batteries, so that on a day like today when you're producing loads of solar but not many people are actually plugging in, that solar energy can be harnessed, stored, and then it can be used to charge the vehicles up at night when no solar energy is being produced. Absolute genius. Now I did ask GRIDSERVE if we could climb over the fence and have a look at the batteries, but unfortunately they warned us that if we did that we might not come out alive, because 33,000 volts is not the kind of voltage that I want to be messing around with, even though I'm an electrician. So we're just going to show you a picture of a fence and then we're going to go and do something else. So when I'm in places like this, I don't know about you if you're an electrician, but I always end up looking up and admiring the electrics on the ceiling. And I've got to say there's some really nice conduit work in here. Some nice galv conduit, I'll show you. So these are the batteries that are storing all of that solar energy when it's not being used. This is what's going to become of all the internal combustion engines that are reduced to scrap metal. They're going to be reduced, reused and recycled into tables and other decorative items. So this is like a little office space that you can actually reserve. So if you want to have a meeting or something like that, you need a bit of privacy, you can just book that, grab your coffee, plug your car in, get it charging up and have a little meeting room in this private booth. Those bikes are actually charging back into the grid when you use them, so that they're actually helping to contribute towards charging the vehicles up. So we're going to hit the road now, give it a little drive, see what it's like, maybe stop off at a rapid charger on the way and see how that goes. Right, well we're going to head over now to pick up Ruben from a job, because we've got a little surprise for him. We've got some tools that we're going to give him. We're going to surprise him, just pick him up from the job that he's working on. We've got 175 miles of range on the clock right now. Our destination is 41 miles away, so we will compare. We are going to stop off though at the Bishop Stortford services to grab a bite to eat, coffee, do a little top-up charge just to experience the charging at the services there. And I'm going to try and absolutely thrash it. Oh, that's quite good acceleration actually. Wowzers, that's much better than the Transporter. Oh, I like it. Yeah, so we're going to thrash it over there and see how many miles of range we can burn on our way. Yeah, it's pretty nippy. Definitely beating Elijah in his little Ford Fiesta. Oh, it's going to be so good to just not have a speed limit. Like, the Transporter is limited to 58 or something ridiculous like that. And it's just like so annoying when you're on the motorway and you've got lorries coming up behind you, flashing you. This is like a normal van that doesn't have a speed limiter on it. Yeah. We've got cruise control and it's easy to figure out. You just press the little button here and now we're cruising at 70 and it's saying we're in eco mode, so that's pretty good. So I've just figured out there are actually different drive modes here. So you've got normal, eco and power mode, and I think I was actually in eco mode and the acceleration was pretty decent, so be interesting to see what the power mode is like. 0 to 60 in power mode, that's going to be worth trying. Oh, look at all those. I didn't realise how much those 4x4s cost. Like, Nick Bundy was at this car showroom doing a video the other day, and it was like 250 grand for like some kind of Range Rover or something. So we've got some GRIDSERVE chargers here, but there's only 2 of them. This is the issue with the charging infrastructure at the moment, is that there are not enough charging points unless you own a Tesla. So we pop the little rubbery things out, and then we just grab a plug, and we are connected to start, contactless payment, easy. I've been learning new stuff about this van all the time. There's lots of little interesting quirks and gadgets and stuff, like the fact that you have to press the P button to make it park. You can't, I thought you could flick it up like that and it would go into park, but it doesn't. If you do that, it doesn't go into park. You have to press P and then it goes into park. So I don't know what B does, but anyway, we'll leave that off. So we're charged up. It cost me £2 something. We only added a few miles of range. But an interesting note about GRIDSERVE charging points, although they're double chargers, you can only use one at a time. So I pulled up there, I was charging away, and then this BMW i3 pulled up next to me. He tried to charge, wouldn't work, because you can only use one at a time, even though there are 2. That, to me, is a bit stupid. Anyway, onto the road. Why do old people drive very, very slow? Is it because the pace of life changes and you feel like you're driving at normal speed, but you're actually driving slow? So I gotta say, I've only been driving this for a few minutes, really, like, half an hour or so. But I'm already just loving it. Like, I feel like you're totally unleashing the power of an electric vehicle in this. It's super fast and responsive. It feels really sturdy and stable on the road. The Transporter, it always feels like you're sort of bouncing around all over the place, and just like, it doesn't feel very comfortable to drive. I always feel a bit on edge when I'm driving it. This just feels so stable and sturdy on the road. It's just really nice to drive. It's like driving a normal van, but with even a bit more oomph and a lot quieter. Right, okay. I don't know where that's there. I bet, you know what? Do you reckon they've finished already and they've left? That would be funny.
Hi mate.
Hi mate, you alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, good, yeah. Have you finished that?
Yes mate.
Okay. Where's Ruben?
He's in the van with me.
Oh, okay. We've got a little plan to hijack Ruben because we've got something we wanted to give him. We've just turned up at the job to come and grab him, but... Right, so the guys have scuppered our plan because basically they finished earlier than we expected on this job, so they've already gone off to the wholesalers to get the materials for the rest of the week and drop some rubbish off and things. So Lee and Ruben are going to come over to the office and meet us there, so we're going to head over there now, and then hopefully Ruben, we can surprise him without him expecting it still. See you at the office. So we're here and we're about to do the Milwaukee guessing game. If you've enjoyed today's video, hit a thumbs up and subscribe, but make sure you stay tuned for this next video because it's going to be epic. See you there. So you've got to put 2 Artisan hats on. 2. You look like you're about to rob a bank. You've got to guess what it is. If you guess correctly, you get to keep the tool.
Oh, this one's heavy. I think this is Jordan's wallet.
Put your arms out. You have to guess every single item. Impact.
That feels like a multi-tool blade. That's a level.
I'm so lost.
Come on, that should be pretty obvious.